Hi, I'm Ruby with 3 Wise Johnson. Welcome to another video. This is 5 top tips, Rhinestones Edition. Yes, Rhinestones Edition. There's so many things I could say about rhinestones, and I already have ideas for many more videos. So these are just 5 top tips to get you started. First of all, I just want to say though, rhinestones are amazing. I absolutely love them. I am into them. But also I want you to know they are not the be all and end all. I don't want us to feel basically capitalist consumer pressure to be like, I'm not going to be good enough unless my costume is covered in Swarovski rhinestones. It's like, no, honestly, that's not true. What is so much more important is that you're an amazing entertainer with considered and embellished and amazing costumes. That doesn't necessarily mean rhinestones, and that definitely doesn't necessarily mean Swarovski. Yes, of course, they're totally fabulous and there's nothing like them, but they're also like 9 times the price of any other stone, essentially, or the cheaper stones. So we're going to talk about things like that. We're going to get into it a little bit. So here it is, 5 top tips, Rhinestones Edition, part 1. Number 1, an absolute minimum of 5 colors, please. 5 colors, please. I definitely would say I would use way more than that. I would definitely personally use more like a minimum of 7. I had a garment once that had 19 different colors and sizes. It was gorgeous. It took me forever, but it was worth it. But it's so important that rhinestones are actually about elevating and adding further depth. Sometimes I feel like people are just like, oh, it's red, so red, and it's like, no, that's not what costumes are about. That's not what embellishment should be. Embellishment is about further elevating design. So think about that with colors and how you can make choices to elevate and lift and push and add further interest to your pieces. Don't worry if you've only used 2 or 3 colors in the past. I'm sure your costumes look amazing, but this is about, top tips. This is about the tippy top tips, darlings. So yeah, an absolute minimum of 5 colors, darlings. Number 2, speaking of which, actually, an absolute minimum of 3 sizes is my next recommendation. So, yeah, rhinestones come in lots of sizes. Some are sew-on sizes as opposed to glue-on sizes. There's lots and lots and lots. I would say an absolute minimum of 3 is important because I think, again, it isn't just about, oh, it needs to just have rhinestones on it. Like, no, this is about design. This is about concept. This is about adding different nuance and complexity to a costume. That's what embellishment is for. That's what rhinestones are for. So we want an absolute minimum of 3 sizes because actually you're going to be using the rhinestones in different ways, and you can't possibly achieve that by having rhinestones that are all the same size. So obviously for certain things, if you just want an all-over zhuzh on a glove, I still think that would look better with 3 different sizes. So I don't want to be ableist. I know for some of us it's too much to work with smaller sizes, or we can't hand sew, or whatever it might be. But do your best to have at least a variation in size, because even if that means you're going with like a 4 mil, a 5 mil, and a 6 mil, like those can all get glued on. Those are all going to add different kinds of layers. So yes, an absolute minimum of 3 sizes of rhinestones, please. All right, number 3, stretch. Anything with stretch. Anything that you wear that stretches. Gloves, pants, tights, harness, bodysuit, bodycon dress, whatever, anything and any fabric, and not necessarily whether it has to like stretch. If it's a garment that like, you'd put over your hips and so it has to stretch over a hip, or, over a head, anything with stretch it out. Okay, have you ever done a thing where you rhinestone some stuff and then you put it on and it's like rhinestones just flying and you're like, no, that was at least 50p. You're like trying to find the one that's the Swarovski on the floor. We've all been there. That is because you didn't stretch out your stretch fabric. Okay, so stuff it, wrap it, you know, put it on your cat, whatever you need to do to stretch out anything with stretch. Then you glue it, you let it rest. Don't leave it too long, you don't want it to get stretched out. But then it will allow for that stretch. Keep that in mind though as well. Don't do things too close. See, I already have to do another one. I already have to do a whole video just about how to stretch your stretch stuff. I'll do that. Me and Prince Lydia will do that sometime in April, I'm sure. I feel like we're gonna have time. Okay. Number 4. Wha-bam! Applicators for your glue. So I use 2 different types of applicators. I use a syringe applicator, and I use just like one of these, I forget what these are called, but like a little bottle thingy. You can buy them on like eBay and stuff in like packs. Depending what kind of glue you're using, you might not need to put this little extra tip on. These ones are better for E6000. These ones are better for Gem Tack. These are just really good because it's going to mean that you've got those little tight, nice little bits of glue. That's when you can use those finer stones and stuff. And also sometimes I think it just helps to keep the glue lasting for longer, like actually in its own bottle. So yes, applicators for glue, get into it. 5. So number 5 is highlight with your top tier rhinestone. And what do I mean by this? I mean, make a list of which rhinestones you're going to buy or which rhinestones you are going to have, and use the most expensive, spangliest ones as highlights, so to sit on the main points of the body that we're going to see. So let's think about a femme traditional showgirl costume. What that might mean is we do some Swarovski on the bust, we do some Swarovski on the bum, we do some Swarovski on, you know, on the hands. You know, it doesn't have to be like a full coverage, but I think when it comes to budgeting and when it comes to being sustainable in our costume stuff, don't feel the pressure again to have everything covered in Swarovski. It's, you know, quite inaccessible ultimately. But, you know, if you want to have some and you want to feel the power and the radiance of Swarovski, use it to highlight some of the main things that people are going to see. Really think through your routine. Is this routine about hands and arms? Is it more about belly? Like, what is it about? And make sure it is spangled out. So keep your top tier pricey stones for the bits that people are going to see and enjoy the most. Right, so that was 5 rhinestone top tips. You're gonna have more. I thought of more just as I was making this video. Let me know that you enjoyed it. Let me know any questions below. I'm happy to do some slightly longer videos that are focusing on some specific techniques. Again, be cool to have Prince Lydia show you all the cool stuff that they know. Okay, hope you're okay. Take care of yourself. Bye.